Hello, hello, hello. I've got a nice light on me here. It's interesting. How are you doing? How's everyone doing? Hope you're all good there. It's it's been a crazy day, but more than that, it's been quite a long while since I've done a video, and I have noticed that whenever I'm sort of sobering up, whenever I'm getting more clearer, and I like being more clear because being more clear means I get stuff done, and that's what I like about it. It's like I'll end up doing these videos, and I've been saying to people, when you're doing the things that you love, when you're finding that you're doing those things, then you must be doing something right. And when you're finding yourself in the throes of sabotage and, caught distracted, then there's something going on there. You're either avoiding your emotions and the stuff that's in the body, because that's where it is, that's where it's all held. I mean, me, always around here, the body holds emotion in certain areas, and the reason I'm doing this video is because I'm starting to eat really well again, and I'm going to cut out a lot more of the addictions. Now, it will sound funny because for me, my addictions are to things like sweet foods or like having some chips or whatever. There's nothing wrong with these things. It's like, it's all levels. And of course, smoking, drinking, and all those sort of things. We know they have an impact on the body and we feel it. We feel groggy, and some of us even to certain foods. If we have a load of pizza, we feel a bit shite. So we know with those things there's definitely effect. But as you cut all those things away, it's like cutting away all the stuff which isn't really giving the body its true nutrition, giving its true life force, its true energy. And down to things like having fresh air, exercising enough, all those things. You become more and more alive, and as you become more sensitive, you become aware that you have even more addictions and even more things that you may be doing which are causing harm to your system. So for me, when I talk about the sugar stuff, sometimes people laugh, but it's like I'd have a whole pack of dates or figs, and I'd eat them all in one go. It's like I can't stop, I can't just have like 3, put it down, that's it. For me, it's like I just want to keep eating them, and that's partly comfort for the inner child. It's partly comfort from my pains, because so many of us have been pushing it down because society says push it down, because people around us say push it down, and because the controlling energy on the planet, and it is a controlling energy, doesn't like expression. It doesn't like free expression. It doesn't like freedom. It doesn't like humans to be completely at ease and able to express themselves fully. But when you do get to that point, life starts to feel like a blessing rather than a curse, or rather than, you're chasing your tail in life, or you're trying too hard to make the life you want happen. You're able to just fall more into the right space. So part of doing those things is caring about ourselves. Part of those things is getting a core strength within, a core resilience, and through food and what we've done to the system, the whole planet, the destruction of the soil. I mean, the soil, like, apparently the soil's got 80 years of good turnover left, and that is because in the past we used to just leave the land for a few months, a year, whatever, and then the next year we'd then use that field. But what we're doing now, because we're intensifying, we want maximum profit now, we're shooting ourselves in the foot, we're not being sensible. And all of these things go back to that humanity has lost that balance, that sense of centeredness, that sense of peace within. Because you see, when you live in that peace, you're not so needy and desperate for food. You're not so needy and desperate for people's attention, to love me, love me, love me, love me, love me, love me. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at my Facebook profile, look at whatever. You are more at peace and more able to let other people go, let them do what they need to do. They will not do what we want them to do. You can't make people do what you want them to do, and everyone has their own ways of doing things, and they have to learn in their own time. You can only be there at the right time to help them through a certain thing. So through the poisoning of our system, which is what we've been doing, we've been dumbing down the whole mind and the body and the system, and disconnecting ourselves from the feeling sense of having a body and being alive and being here. And this also happens with trauma and people who've gone through difficult stuff, of course. In life, we tend to desensitize and dissociate. We don't want to be so following in the world. This video was supposed to be about food and that, and about like that I'm going on a little cleanse at the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'll just show you what I'm. So this is what I've got today for the evening here. I don't know how close up you were to my face then actually with that video, but hopefully it's alright. So yeah, I got some lovely sweet potatoes and avocado, and there's a bit of fish in there actually, and there is a garlic and some mushrooms. So it's all absolutely natural food. Let's see if you can see me alright now anyway. It's all absolutely beautiful natural food. I'm not always doing organic, but this is all levels, and you'll notice the clearer you get, the more you're like, oh wow, I noticed the difference between an organic tomato and one from the supermarket. And oh my god, the stuff from the supermarket feels dead, you know, literally dead. Like, where is the life force in that? And you see, humanity's at a point now where we need life force. We need to be radiant, the radiant ones. We need to be, and when I say the radiant ones, I'm not talking about some religious cult. I'm talking about us being radiant, us being alive, us living, us truly breathing and being in that sense of well-being, that sense of abundance. And you know, Mother Earth wanted to bring that to us, that sense of abundance. We'd have had food growing everywhere, you know, but we've privatized, we've cut off everything. We've said, you know, like, this is my field, and you know, maximum profit, and sell them all the rubbish. And when you go into the supermarket, you know, there's like, you know, it's normal, and normal is just like normal, and you don't question it. But really, you know, what we're doing to the planet is insane. You know, like, the most plastic I got today was, and metal, was the metal from the tins for the fish. But even that I don't want to be doing. You know, it is possible to go shopping and just use the one plastic bag that you've got, that you keep reusing for a while, and go and get your food from their markets on all the time. There's markets on, you know, I've been going to different markets. I go out, play my guitar on the street, and I go to one of the markets, you know, and I find the food from there, even when it's not organic, a lot of the time it's a lot better quality and more alive than the food that's organic from the supermarket. So, you know, take what you will from that, trust your own self, you know. But I guess my path is to try and, there's two things here. It's like, one of them is to get as much vital energy, as strong as possible, you know, and I do need to start doing yoga and stuff, and like moving my spine more, because I can feel I'm 37 years old and it's starting to like seize up a little bit, you know. I've been so focused on other stuff anyway. But yeah, get back to the yoga, get back to the body movement, get yourself alive, get a rhythm going, you know. Do chanting, do singing, do deep breath work, you know, do anything that brings you into life, because we're meant to be alive, and so much of the normal world has been desensitizing us, getting us living in robotic type ways, you know, which are repetitive over and over again. They dull us, they switch us off, and it turns us into just, you know, what's the point? What's the point? We didn't come here to Earth to be numbed out and stupefied on drugs. And I'm telling you here that there's drugs, and then there's drugs, and then there's the food drugs, and it's all drugs. It's all drugs. So I've made a decision today to be mindful again of what I'm having, and I'm cutting out all the chip fat, and you know, I've only had chips here and there, and then the special thing which I've been having for comfort, which is loads of sweet fruit, you know, like dates and figs and things like that, which are too much. And even things like nuts I just gorge on. And the thing is the nuts, like, they overload the digestive system as well. And what I've noticed, if you can fine tune your digestive system so that you're not giving it too little, but you're not giving it too much, you know, give it a little bit to nurture on, you know. Sometimes juicing feels right for a few days. Sometimes you want more sustenance, you want more fiber, you know. So it's good to get the fibre in when it's right. But what ultimately we're looking for is to create some type of sense of deep well-being, that the body is being nourished, and that well-being then rises up and through and within us. And I feel the two things for me, as I was going to say, is that for one, it's about vitality, it's about being strong, it's about having resilience, it's about keeping your mood balanced. And that doesn't mean boring, that just means balanced, as in you feel stable, you've not got sugar highs like and then crashes, you know, like where your pancreas and your body's going, what the flipping heck, you know, give me more of that, I need more of that sugar because I can't, you know. And then when you've not got enough sugar, you're feeling weak and stuff, you know. It's not, you know, we need to realize that these organs, these and all the different organs in this body, I don't know much about them, but that they are sensitive organs, you know. And the emotional body is linked with the physical body very deeply. And through stabilizing our mood, eating clear, eating things and not having the addiction so strong, we create an atmosphere. It's like creating a garden, you know, and the bacteria in our stomach and all these things and parasites and all these things affect our mind and our brain. So we really don't want to be feeding those, and the astral parasites as well. So we really want to be truly nourishing ourselves, and that is when the spirit comes forward. And when the spirit comes forward, it's like, yeah, you feel a sense of that you're going to be all right, because that sense of well-being that then comes through your whole body permeates through your whole life and everything around your whole life. You start to feel that I am going to be all right. The funny thing is deep inside, when you've got strong addictions to things, there's always this sense of, oh my God, you know, like, what if I can't get my addiction? You know, like, the country's going to be locked down on Thursday again, you know, and it's like, you can easily panic from that state. But when you do things like fasting and you're just trickling, you know, what you need into your body, or you're just doing what it needs rather than gorging, you know, you have more of this sense of, I'm going to be okay. And part of that is obviously because you're not eating everything and spending so much money, and you know, you're having what you need, and that makes you feel a lot more trust in yourself. You feel more in control. You don't feel like you're a slave to compulsions, to whether it's smoking, drinking, whatever, you know, internet, you know. So I'm in a bid to try and like really, it's not trying to control my life in the sense that I'm scared or anything, but it's trying to get a grip over what's going on with this. And of course, many will know, many may not know, when you do this, when you cleanse your system, sometimes the trauma and a lot comes up within inside yourself. And today I felt quite vulnerable. It's cold, you know, feeling vulnerable, want chips, you know. It's understandable. Of course we want chips, and we live in a cold country, England. It's colder than a lot of the rest of the frigging world, I tell you. So, you know, we want that comfort, we want that warmth, you know, and it's not all just that we feel like we need the nutrients and stuff, you know. I'm going to have like a boiled potato if I have any potatoes, you know. So there's always levels you can go from healthier to healthier, you know. And it's not about being silly, it's just about doing what creates a sense of well-being. And it does take a while to truly know that. It takes a while to truly be able to discern, that is good for me, that is not working, you know. Or I can have a bit of that sometimes, but I need to be careful of that. It's like me with chocolate, I just can't really do it. I could have a square, but I mean, what's the point of a square? But the chocolate just, I can't sleep when I have it, and it just overloads my system. So I have a very sensitive system, but I like that because, you see, us humans who are sensitive, we are often compassionate to other people. We often feel wherever people are at. We sense our way around the world, and that's a true gift. It's just that, for one, the darker energies on the planet don't like sensitivity. They want us to be numbed out, cut off, and they think that it's tough to not feel. But what we've been realizing here is that actually feeling is tough. To be able to feel is to be strong. To have to numb out, to have to avoid, to have to be silly, to have to put cover-ups, to have to put fronts, to supposedly man up and all that, which is not manning up, you know, because yeah, it's cool to be strong and to say I did this amazing thing and I can climb this mountain and I can do all those things. That's cool, you know. But avoiding what we feel, you know, being afraid of anything, which is what it is, you know, what it is. It's being afraid that you're a pussy or that you're a sissy or, you know, whatever. And the thing is, to feel as a man is, there's a lot of power in it. There's a lot of power in the vulnerability, you know. So that's what I've been feeling through already, just like not eating my comfort foods today, you know. I thought I'd do this video before I actually eat, because when you do eat anything, I mean, sweet potato is the thing here that's got the most power to tire you out, you know, and that's why the potatoes are like really, you know, so I want to do a video where my brain is working clear, you know, so that's why I do a video before I'm eating it, you know. But what else can I say? The vulnerability. So it's almost like everything we've been running from all our life comes up in our face, you know. And you've got to be gentle with that, of course. But for me, I've got to a point where it's like I don't want to deny anything. I don't want to be asleep. I can't handle being numbed out, because humanity at the moment is becoming so numbed out. We're still going around purchasing massive amounts of products that are wrapped in plastic, that are in metal. We are so caught in that we've got to get on, because the system is worked in a way that kind of screws us over, that we're not having the time to come up with the solutions and actually work together, because there's no point in asking anyone else for solutions to what's going on. We need to have the solutions ourselves. And the solution is coming together, the solution is working together, supporting each other through all of these things. And the whole thing with the lockdown is creating separation, even in people who, you know, wear the masks and don't wear the masks, all this stuff. It's like all of this is illusions and lies. We need to actually be coming together right now and helping this planet, because, you know, not that Gaia's got a problem without us, like she doesn't need us, but it's just that it's in here and it's in here. Well, it's more in here is the issue that is creating such a problem of needing to consume and consume and consume and consume, you know. And I think if we were sharing some of this stuff a lot more and not so segregated, isolated in our own little spaces, we'd also find our common ground, and not so much in the division, but we would find a lot of solutions to a lot of these problems, you know. But that was take me a bit off path there, but I just wanted to say about the sensitivity is our gift as humans, to be able to be sensitive, to feel. And to feel doesn't mean we have to be weak. To feel can be a strong thing. Feeling is only weak when we're overridden by our feelings, that we can't deal with them, which is why a lot of people turn to whatever they turn to numb it out. So to feel is a very good thing, because the feeling sense is what makes us human, and the feeling sense is a guidance. Our intuition is very linked with that. When the feeling is hijacked, when the feeling is affected by darker energy, when it's affected by a shadow, when our pain is in control, that is a different thing. And that is when the feeling sense is being used against us. So we don't really want that. But in the vulnerability and the sensitivity, that is what will guide us away and help us know the things in the days to come from now, in which we have things like lockdowns and we have a system of control which is in a very unhealthy way. This system of control is not to be believed too deeply. You know, we need to remain and find our power again as the human race. We're sovereign beings on this planet. The land should be our land to walk freely on. And the land has been bought up by rich people. we need to be able to do what's right as humanity at this time. There is so much going on, and we need the stronger souls to come forward and work together. Love is definitely the answer, and I don't mean love in a silly, airy-fairy way. Strong love. Strong love. I just have a mouthful of this food while I might say something else. Anyway, my friend said about doing a video, so I thought I'd do some more. Well, I've got some chilies in there. There's something lovely about the chilies. This is the thing, like, you know, it can be easy to think like, oh, all this natural food, it's boring, but once your taste buds get used to it, it's like there's a real flavour. And that's with the sensitivity. The taste buds are more sensitive, so things that you thought didn't taste of anything because we were used to eating highly flavoured products, you know, products. That's not from nature, you know, products are manipulation, products are manipulate the mind, they manipulate our emotions, these products they have us coming back for more. This does not come from a loving place, you know, these companies do not come from a loving place. We do not want to be supporting companies that don't come from a loving place. We decide by our actions what happens on this planet and who we support. Who are you going to support, you know? Do you support Gaia? So as Mother Earth, I tell you, there's intelligence in these plants, there is deep intelligence, and that intelligence knows how to go to the organs in the body and send the information to those organs to remind them how it is to live, how it is to breathe, how it is to heal. You know, if you can get hold of wild food, you know, boil some nettles up or whatever, because that is the power. That's where the power is, you know. The power's in Mother Earth. She knows what she's doing. Yeah. I do think there's a sort of fight going on the planet at the moment, and the fight is there was a lot of darkness going on here, and we need those people, as I say, to step up into their light, step into their power, and there's no person to tell you what that is, it's up to you. And we need individually all of us to be what we came here to be, because that's what makes the world go round, you know. And we need to be able to be brave as well, brave and face fears and step out of our comfort zone at times, but to have a sense that we're all together. And I think when we know that we're together, when we've got that support, when we're all together, we know that we can step out of that comfort zone. We know that we can do that thing we've always been scared to do and face it. And I definitely find that by eating rubbish and doing the negative things, you know, the unhealthy things, I lose my power and I don't have that potency that's needed to make things happen, to make changes in life. And I found that by quitting addictions, eating well, that is you saying to the universe, I exert my power over this influence, over this control, whether it's the parasites in the body or what. Your body is beautiful, but your body, you're overriding the compulsion to do something which keeps you trapped in a cycle which never served you in the first place. And when you break free from those cycles, you are radiant. You are the radiant ones, and you feel vitality, you feel strong, you feel optimism, you feel hope, you feel joy, you feel like the world is a beautiful place, because it is. It's only when we're dropped into the lower state that the world feels like a horrible place, you know. And yes, there are horrible things going on, and it's not always our place to save humanity, you know, but we can do something. But it's in our choices, it's in our everyday choices. What do we choose, you know? That's why I keep saying that. and that's gorgeous. What I've done is I put in garlic, and I put in the hot pepper, and I do have a fair bit of salt and olive oil and lemon, so you know, it's nice. I think I've nearly said all I need to say, really. God. Strong pepper. So yeah, day number 1 of eating this stuff, and I feel clear. I feel a little bit more conviction to doing the things I want to do in life, and I feel a bit more vulnerable, which is a bit difficult because the emotions are coming up. But I prefer to feel and to be numbed out. And the one thing I will say is I do feel like I'm a bit anti-artificial intelligence. You know, I'm not really into us hybridizing ourselves with technology, you know, and becoming, you know, it's a different thing. Like, I saw one guy who had this thing on over his visuals where he could see what he was hearing. Noise would be converted to light or something in colours, and then he would see that, you know, something like that. You know, I'm not against that stuff, but I certainly don't want myself chipped or plugged into any kind of artificial reality. You know, I think there needs to be, a group of us that move away from that and back to nature, because that's where the abundance comes from. That's where the life comes from. If we don't work with her, we're fucked. We're fucked basically if we do not work with Mother Earth. You know, there isn't many other ways. You know, we can go down this whole, you know, technology, artificial food, artificial everything world, but it's not going to be what we want, you know. So this is a fight for our planet, and we need to be able to come together to do that powerful work. And cleansing our system, you know, is worth doing. So that's day 1 of this video. I'll try and do a few more. I pray for good things for everyone watching this. God bless you, and let's do this shit. We need to be inspiring each other. So, and anyone who wants to be part of Awakening Earth, if anyone wants to do a video, you know, interview thing with me, anyone wants to talk with me, and we can put the video up, let me know. It'd be nice to talk to some people, or do a little podcast or something. Alright, take it easy.